What's up, you stupid idiots, you fantasy football heads? Welcome back. We're going to do something absolutely insane considering as soon as I do this, I'm setting myself up to be sniped by my very own listener league. But alas, we're going to do it. We're going to look at some players on both the offensive and defensive side and look at where they went in four different all 22 drafts. Talk about the range, talk about the average, and we're even going to discuss the player that went immediately before them and immediately after them, which should give you a ton of information about where other players are going as well. So, if you're watching this, you may or may not be a part of the Stupid Idiots Listener League. I may have enough people to even start a second league, but right now I don't. So it is what it is. But if you're watching this and you're like, "Oh, I would be in a Stupid Idiots 2.0 listener league," then DM me on Twitter. At underscore moneyballers. That's my sports Twitter. If you want to follow my main stuff, I'm at BUX underscore wild on just about everything. It's going to show you my algorithm, which I don't want. But here we go. Uh, this is, yeah, this is the kind of dumb shit that I be tweeting. No, but in all reality, we've been doing an ultimate beginner's guide to a bunch of different stuff like best ball, like football as a whole, sleeper, and then we're looking at all 22 and talking about different draft strategies. I've gone through every single pick of my first ever draft, which was any given Sunday, and I linked those. And then we kind of did some overviews of the other drafts as well. But this is more of a where'd they go episode. So let's start with Russell Wilson. See if I can't uh zoom in here just a little bit. There we go. So what we're gonna do is look at the player, look at where they were drafted, what round, what pick they were drafted in, and then the player pick right before them and the player pick right after them. The things you have to know about these leagues in order for this to have enough context to make sense is you have to know how many people are drafted in these leagues. So right now in a 10-team league, it's 53 rounds. So that's 530 total players drafted. Granted, you're starting 22, including the punter. So it makes sense that there'd be that many. But in a 12-team league, that's 636 total players drafted. In an 8-team league, that's 424 total players drafted. Just to talk real quick, because I will mark which ones were mine. The Letterkenny League, that was my most recent draft. That's where I punted the ever loving out of running back and ended up setting myself up for a nice two tight end formation. I punted linebacker. I took Micah Parsons basically, and then I punted linebacker pretty far as well. And I think I went for value at wide receiver in this draft, in the Letterkenny draft, that is. So I kind of punted wide receiver in some ways. Any given Sunday, that was my first ever all 22 draft. And I did that one based on weighted position, highest weighted positions first. So I was like, I'm going in, I'm taking two quarterbacks, I'm taking wide receiver, tackle, edge. Like I'm targeting those players, like the highest tackles, highest wide receivers, the highest edge, no matter what everyone else does, that's what I'm doing. Um, which I kind of ended up shifting a little bit. The eye test league, this is the league I accidentally auto drafted in its entirety. So we went over what that team looked like in a different video. Hopefully, I'll have it linked somewhere, but you can also find it in my All 22 playlist. And I just basically walk through what a roster will look like if the whole thing auto drafts for you with zero Q being set. So if you do that, you might end up with a team like mine. Some of the picks you're gonna see were because I auto drafted them. My surf and turf league, I only auto drafted a couple picks, but the big overview of the strategy for this one was I tried out like a more tier based system. I'll just give you I'll go over this more in another video, but basically instead of what I did for any given where I was like I'm just doing quarterback edge, wide receiver tap. Like I'm just doing it like that. For this one, I said no, I'm gonna do tiers. It's okay if these positions are weighted less. If I can get like the number one player at that tier, then I'm gonna do that. So I kind of shifted my strategy. This was the tier-based one for Surf and Turf, and that was only an 8-team league, so it was really different. And then we're gonna draft Stupid Idiots starts tomorrow morning. So the listener league, we don't know yet where these players are going. Hopefully you're watching this as a way to kind of try to beat me. Ooh, I'm so excited to see which of my strategies is gonna work the most. And then I have one last strategy to think about, and that's TBD. I have till Friday to make a decision, and it's Tuesday, so we'll see. But listen, I had to go to the My Chem. I had to go to the My Chem show, my guy. That's my band right there. All right. At me in the comments for that. I don't give a shit. Okay. Let's talk about Russell Wilson. I just picked a quarterback that I thought, age might be working against him, but he's got some really high PFF grades. He's got injury working against him from last year. Let's just see where he's going. Um, 10-team league Letterkenny, he went round 1, pick 7. Okay, that's pretty high. Right before him went Max Crosby, and right after him went Nick Bosa. Next, there's a 12-team league. He went round 3, pick 11. Okay, right before him went Ryan Tannehill. That's spelled wrong. And right after him went Jeffrey Simmons. All right, so a defensive interior player there. The next one, the eye test league, I auto drafted him round 1, pick 7, which tells me the person who picked him here in this Letterkenny league most likely auto drafted him as well, probably by accident. Because if this is where it auto drafted me, that's probably what happened to this dude. So to whoever you are, I really, really feel your pain. There's no reason to take him this high. And then in the 8-team league here, round 1, pick 5. There's not much I can say about this. I don't know. Maybe he did get auto drafted there as well. Right before him went Patrick Mahomes. That was me with the 4th pick, and then right after him went Kyler Murray. So it's kind of tough to, unless this person got auto drafted, it's kind of tough to say like, why would you pick Russ over Kyler? If Kyler was sitting there, it just feels weird. Real quick, in the league where I auto drafted him, right after went Jamar Chase. Went Nick Bosa, and right before went Jamar Chase. So because Jamar Chase went before, I can tell you right now there was some good value left on the board for quarterback before Russell Wilson was freaking auto drafted by my team. All right, so if you're thinking Russ, when should I get him? Well, the latest he was acquired was pick 29, and the earliest was pick 5. Who's to say if it was auto drafted or not? So that averages at about round 17. I mean, pick 17, excuse me. If you're targeting him, if you get to like about the 17th, 18th pick of your draft and he's still on the board, might be time to go ahead and smash the button. But he could go as late as pick 29, and we know this was an auto draft. We're assuming this was. We think this might be. So that being said, you can probably wait for Russell if you're targeting him. All right, let's move over to the defensive side of the ball. Oh wait, let's do that because that's a spoiler alert over here. So let me zoom in a little more. Ooh, nice and big. Okay, Micah Parsons. Right? Like I was surprised to see him go because the linebacker position is weighted relatively low, right? Relatively. So we're talking right now for linebacker in PFF's All-22, 4.26%. So you're like, why would somebody draft him? Well, as I started, draft him over, top edge guys, over even top defensive interior, 4.96, over top wide receivers. Well, it's position scarcity. We know this. We know about this. So when I went and revisited my draft strategy, I said, you know what? I will target Micah Parsons early because he is just that cut above the rest. Plus, we know edge position is 6.03% right now. Micah Parsons might get switched for his positional designation, might end up being edge as early as later this year, and then probably, next year could happen. So that means his weight is going to go up if and when that happens. We also know that linebackers, their weight could go up depending on if some of them get paid out because these numbers are based on pay and how teams are prioritizing them as far as salary. So let's see, as early as he went, I think the earliest he went was right here with me, and this was the when I was like, I'm gonna target him. I was able to get him round 2, pick 6. Right before him went Joey Bosa. Right after him, Rashawn Gary. And you're thinking Rashawn Gary, that's a good value. for a high quality edge rusher. Yeah, but now I have the linebacker one, and what I ended up doing was punting the ever loving, just punting linebacker and running back in this league. Then in this 12-team league, he went round 3, pick 1. Right before him went a good young tackle in Jordan Mailata, and right after him went Penei Sewell, good young tackle as well. So you see, like in this game, kind of like why you wouldn't pick Micah Parsons, right? Because you're like, man, tackle's highly rated. These are young dudes. Then he went as late as he's gonna go here. In a 10-team league, round 5, pick 6. Right before him, Colton Miller. Right after him, Wyatt Teller. Again, autoed by me. So I mean, who's to say? If I had actually been playing, I probably would have smashed Micah Parsons. Because let's look at guard real quick, and guard is 3.8. So am I really gonna take who I think is probably the number one guard ahead of the number one linebacker? Just looking at positional, I don't even have him listed as number one. I could go back and look, but if Batonio or Zach Martin was sitting there, I know Micah Parsons was sitting there, so it just sucks to auto. So set a gosh darn queue. And then in my 8-team league, round 4, pick 3. Right before him went Chris Jones, great pick. I think he's going to do well this year. He's cleaning up. And then right after, Jeffrey Simmons. So I think I feel pretty good about Jeffrey Simmons coming to me. Round 4, pick 4. Where did he go in this draft? He went round 3, pick 12. So you're kind of seeing Jeffrey Simmons is right around that 3-4 round range as well. If you're looking for, I think he's a really solid defensive interior player. If you're targeting him, you know where to do it. Don't wait too long. Do not, if you're in the 4th round and Jeffrey Simmons is sitting there, even in my league with me, listen, just go ahead and smash that. All right, let's go back to the offensive side of the ball and let's look at Frank Ragnow. Nice, young, talented center. You only need one center, really. They only make you roster 2. So let's talk Frank Ragnow real quick. He went by me. Again, this is in my most recent draft, so I was learning a little bit about when to take a center. Round 13, pick 5. All right, right before him, same team there, Taylor Decker. And we know if anyone's listened to the All-22 podcast, Taylor Decker is on my All-22 team. No one cares. No one cares. I can't get that little sound bit out of my head because this I don't even know what to make of it. Honestly, that's how I feel about it. I think I don't know. And then right after him went Hunter Renfrow. I think pretty good value for Hunter Renfrow there. The only reason for me not to take Hunter Renfrow, I think this might have been a little too early because there's more value in my opinion. But a reason not to take him is if you have Devontae Adams. That's in my opinion. But I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know how ceiling works in this. All right, and then he goes round 14, pick 2 in a 12-team league. So pretty significantly later, if you're just talking about pick numbers. Right before him, Zion Johnson, and then right after him, Devin Lloyd. So interesting there. And then again, 10-team league, you're seeing a little bit of a trend here. Round 13, pick 2. Right before him, Charles Leno. Right after him, Trey Smith. So a lot of offensive line happening around this round 13, pick 2. People are filling out their depth. They're like, oh snap, offensive linemen get injured a lot. I gotta have some highly rated guys. At 18 league here, round 14, pick 2. Right before him, Christian McCaffrey. Okay, right after him, Brandon Ayuk. It's because it's a smaller league. You're not drafting nearly as many players, right? Only 424 total players go. And ultimately, the running back position is not really valued that much. There's a lot to choose from with it. Trying to get back to running backs at 3.44, and there's actually you can get some real. I mean, like Khalil Herbert. If you want to snipe me on him, you can snipe me on him. But that's who I'm trying to get like at the very end. So I mean, he went undrafted in the eye test league. So I'm gonna pick. This is the league I autoed. So I went ahead and made a list of who I'm targeting. If you're in my eye test league and you're watching this and you want to snipe me, hey, just like and subscribe. That's all I ask. I forgot to do this for Micah Parsons, but we'll go back. So, that's Russ. Here we are for Frank Ragnow. The range We're in the mid, excuse me, mid 100 range. Okay. So around 13, 14 is when, if you see him still sitting there, around 15, you're smashing it. According to this so far. Around 11, you might be reaching. But if you really want him, grab him. So averaging at about pick 140. Let's just look at Micah Parsons real quick. So pick 16 and then all the way up to 46. So around 31. So with Micah Parsons, if you really want him, you might have to snipe me for him because I revisited my strategy and decided he was worth it. But it looks like you could wait pretty late to get him. Granted, again, if I'd been there, he wouldn't have been. If I'd actually mentally been there, he wouldn't have still been there. My sleeper is blowing up in my lap right now. All right. Aidan Hutchinson back on the defensive side of the ball. Wow, right? We're anticipating this dude's gonna PFF score really high. We're like he's gonna be a playmaker. He's young as shit. This is a deep, deep dynasty kind of game. So let's see, where's he going? Okay. Round 4, pick 2. Right before him, Kyle Pitts. Right after him, Marcus Davenport. Interesting. Round 9, pick 1 in a 12-team league. Round 9, pick 1. That is a absolute freaking value smash. Okay, I can't believe I didn't pick him sooner, but this was, again, Any Given was the first ever draft I did, so I didn't know to what extent I should value him. Also, important note here, this was way earlier in the offseason, so we didn't have Hard Knocks yet. So we didn't know. We hadn't seen any preseason yet. So you're like, do I take risks on some of these rookies? I guarantee if I looked at Any Given and compared rookie picks to the ones that happened later, I just guarantee that they were going significantly later in this league because of when the draft happened. But it is what it is. Montez Sweat right before him, and right after him, DeForest Buckner. So even in this league, you see DeForest Buckner going pretty late, and I'm gonna guess that's because of his age. But dude's gonna grade pretty high. If in when he plays, right? Okay, then pretty early here, round 2, pick 6. So again, this is the league where I was auto. I don't think this is pretty early. But maybe at that point, Hard Knocks coming out. You never know. Interesting little note here that Kyle Pitts goes immediately before him in both leagues. The tight end position is rated in like a very interesting way where it's 3.39, but if you have two, they're 1.82, just like an RB2 or a wide receiver 3. So it's the same percentage, just depends on the way you're scheming it. So if you're scheming for 3 wide receivers, your third wide receiver has the same positional weighting as your second tight end or your second running back. So just something to keep in mind as you're drafting. All right, round 5, pick 5. So right smack in the middle of them all. Sorry, round 5, pick 3. And some of my math trying to get these ranges was so hard. So I was trying to take notes on it. Marcus Davenport right before him, and then I took Bakhtiari right after. Feeling pretty good about that, I think. So his range here, pick 16 all the way up to 97, averaging at about pick 56. So he might go super early. He might even go earlier now, just with how much more we know about how much of a monster he's going to be. Just something to keep in mind. If you're drafting against me, I mean, there's a good chance you're going to get him before I do. I'm not going to reach too high. This is PFF score based, and like we just don't know with our rookies. We just like don't know. So I'm going to go with like the proven dudes. Like I think vets have a higher guaranteed success rate in this format. I love this format. I've spoken to this before, but the Patriots teams start to crawl up boards because finally they have some relevance. It isn't like, even though they're splitting time and all this, it's like them splitting time actually means like less opportunities for them to make mistakes. So they're hitting the snap min, but still performing really high in PFF. Something to keep in mind. Little pro tip. All right. So let's go back to the offensive side of the ball here and let's talk about a rookie. Let's talk about Breece Hall. So we talked about rookie Aidan Hutchinson. Let's talk about a rookie running back. Interesting. Look how late he's going. Okay. Our running backs if you want to go ahead and reach on him, please, by all means, especially if you're in the league with me. If you're in the stupid idiots, I'm going to have to start calling you a smarty pants if you reach on a running back because the point of stupid idiots is you're so smart that you're stupid. Round 22, pick 2. Right before him, AJ Dillon. Right after him, Rashad Bateman. Notice that. Bateman going that late is interesting to me, but he scores really low in PFF, so it kind of makes sense. Round 24, pick 8. Right before him, Connor McGovern. Right, is a rookie O line for Dallas. Right after Jalen Petre, no idea who that is. I think he's a rookie safety out of Houston. So okay, I have a feeling that was an auto. I'm not gonna lie. And then round 22, pick 10. So again, we're in these like late rounds. You already have 21 guys on your team, and you're like, I guess I should take a rookie running back. I don't know. And right before him, Trey Lance. Okay, we don't know how he's gonna grade out. And right after him, Trayvon Moehrig. I would call him a mid-level safety. Mid-level safety. Um, and then round 17, in our smaller league here, round 17, pick 7. That kind of makes sense that he'd go a little bit earlier in a smaller league. But right before him, Jeremy Chin, and right after him, Shaq Thompson. Book ended by some Panthers, my guys. Book ended by some Panthers. Okay, so we have him in the 135 to 284 range. That's a huge range. All right, so the average is about pick 210-ish. But it looks like if you're like, when should I take a rookie running back? Let's say the number one rookie running back. Okay, let's just say it. Let's just say that. You can argue with me later. Well, I mean, definitely not before round 17 because he's still going to be there. And you might even be able to wait, even in the biggest league here. You might be able to wait all the way to round 24. So just something to keep in mind. And you see AJ Dillon going here, who's a very highly rated, known commodity running back. I don't, to me personally, I don't understand targeting a rookie running back because you can get like somebody like AJ Dillon like in the same range. So, and he's gonna, well, you assume he's gonna grade out good. Who knows? Who knows anything? All right, let's go jump back over onto the defensive side of the ball. If I had a sponsor, this would be a good time to say, hey, you're a sponsor, pay me money or something. Justin Tucker. Okay, a little Easter egg for you. For the most part, from what I'm pretty sure in every league, he was the first kicker. Um, there might have been some McPherson's, but I'm pretty sure in all of these leagues, he's kicker one. Yes, that's got to be true because I have McPherson in 2 leagues, and I waited till Justin Tucker went to take McPherson. I was like, Justin Tucker goes, I'm gonna wait 2 more rounds, then I'll take McPherson. So that's hey, there's my hey, stupid idiots. Go ahead and write that down. All right. Justin Tucker, round 23, pick 7. Right before him, Derrick Henry. Right after him, Xavier McKinney. I think this is a smash for Xavier McKinney. Super easy pick for this person, round 23. And then Derrick Henry, who knows? I mean, he's Derrick Henry. He's probably going to grade out pretty well, but the age is a thing, and who knows really. Round 26, this is pretty late, right? Given it's a 12-team league. Right before him, Jack Conklin. Right after him goes a punter. Now, I don't know. I'm like almost sure that this was the same guy that just went ahead and did kicker punter just to like fill out his team. When he's like, I'll get the number one kicker and the number one punter, but I don't know that for a fact. Now, guys, my eye test team needs some serious thoughts and prayers if you have them to spare, please. Round 27, pick 7 by me. Okay. So Alex Highsmith goes right before him. I would never have. I'm not taking Alex Highsmith, but Jimmy Ward is there. Like, if you've seen the team, if you've watched the eye test video of how it auto drafted for me, I didn't need Justin Tucker in round frickin' 27. You don't need to do that. Okay, because I went ahead and got him in round 37 in a different league, and this is only an 8-team league. So, round 37, pick 4, right before him, Damian Harris. Write that down. Another highly rated running back going very, very late. Highly rated. Like him and Ramondre are very highly rated. That's by design. That's how Bill does things. And then right after him, Cole Strange. And I did end up like targeting the bejesus out of Cole Strange because I was like, oh, he's going like pretty late and he could rate really high. And then with like the Alex Leatherwood news today of him getting released, him being this like first round reach player that he just sucked and he got released. And like I feel like Cole Strange has been so bad in the preseason that it's just like, oh no, like is Cole Strange the next Alex Leatherwood, where like the team just like was like, oh, that's our guy, let's get him, and then it's like, why did we do that? Everyone else had him in like the second or third round. So Cole Strange, I ended up getting on like one of my, or maybe even two of my teams, honestly. And now I'm like with the Alex Leatherwood news, it's just so hard not to see the comparison there. Um, but him going this late is good news because I think if it's your 37th player that you're choosing, that's fine. You probably already have plenty of guards. Probably if you've been doing it right. All right, we're gonna do two more players, one from the offensive side and one from the defensive side. I absolutely saved the best for last, so hang in there. I think if you know me, if you've been following me on Twitter, if you've been following this channel, you know who the last player is going to be on that defensive side of the ball. Last player on the offensive side of the ball, I went with a wide receiver, Christopher Godwin. Okay, now this is an interesting player for a lot of reasons because super talented, injured-ish, probably injured still, or at least will be kind of working through an injury in the beginning phases of the season. Not like old but not young. So like you got like a highly rated middle aged for receivers, but working through something's got a good quarterback for maybe one more year. Like, so just wanted to see where he went, and he pretty much went like in super similar places in all the drafts. So it seems like if you really want Chris Godwin, go ahead and write him in for like round 10 at the latest. And if he's there, if you really want him and he's there in round 11, like fucking smishity smash that. Round 10, pick one right before Danielle Hunter. Okay, there's a highly rated edge guy who's on the older side. A little early for my taste. Right after DeForest Buckner. So let's look. We have Buckner here going round 10, pick two. And where did he go? In the other league, um, round 9, pick two. So if you want Buckner, that's about where to target him is 9, 10 as well. So you might end up having to make a decision. Do I want Godwin more or Buckner more? I can't make that decision for you. Round 9, pick 6 in our deeper league here. Tyron Smith, rip. Um, pretty sure he's done. And then right after my grabbed Zach's silly Zach. I had a nickname for him. What was, oh yeah, silly Zach. Seals are for kids. Oh man, it's so bad. I'm so sorry. I just don't know. I'm trying to give him name recognition because he's so highly rated and no one knows who the heck he is. But it's just hard. It's silly Zach. That's as far as I got. Silly Zach. Seals are for kids. Is it gonna stick? Taylor Decker's on my all-22 team. Nobody cares. Sorry. And then it's interesting to me that Buckner goes after Godwin again in a different league. It's another 10 team. Godwin goes a little sooner. Buckner goes a little sooner. I don't know. Something weird there. And Javon Holland. Interesting there. So kind of also having some weird like Dolphins defensive player synergy with Chris Godwin, trying to make connections that don't exist. Listen, if you want to take Javon Holland, you can. But the Eric Rowe is there. Xavier Howard, like there are other highly rated. Like you don't need to reach on a safety like this. Just saying. There's ton, and we can go over my rankings again. They probably have shifted quite a bit since I did this in freaking August. But there's tons of other safeties that I would put way ahead of our dude. I don't even know if I did I even rank them. There's just a lot of other PFF wise. There's a lot of other choices than Jaron or Javon Holland. Excuse me, Jaron Curse. Jaron Curse would be one of them. So that's just me. And then round 10, pick 6 in the more shallow league. I grabbed Von Miller right before him, so I guess good on me. And Cam Hayward went right after him. So Cam Hayward's been an interesting one for me to follow in drafts, and maybe after I do these other two drafts, I'll spotlight him a little bit more because of his age, but he's so highly rated. And so you're going to see some of those like highly rated older dudes going like round, I guess it just depends. Just really depends. But round 10 for Cam Hayward seems like a steal, but then again, he might not play for that much longer. All right. So right around pick 89, no matter how deep your league is. It's oh, I spoiled it. There it is. Josey Jewell, folks. That's who we're gonna end with today. Because if you follow me, you know I'm in love with him. Him and David Onyemata. So if you made it to the end, you know who you can snipe for me. It's Josey Jewell and David Onyemata. Uh, look, look at this. Only one. Look at the one league. This is the league that autoed my entire team. The one league I haven't got him in yet is the league that I didn't make my own gosh darn picks. My own gosh, my batteries are definitely dying on my hype button. Letterkenny League, most recent one, around 41 pick five. Now, I was because I hedge, right? Like I'm not gonna take Josey Jewell in every freaking league because like what if it doesn't work out? So I was like, I'm just not gonna take Josey Jewell. And then I'm sitting there in round 41 looking at my linebackers, and this is the league I have Micah Parsons in, and I forgot who my other linebacker. Let's just look at it really quick. Um, but I'm like looking at my other linebackers, going like, I wish I had more depth at linebacker. And then it's like, oh my God, Josey Jewell. Right. So I was like, I got like Jamario Davis, Bobby Wagner, N'Kobe Dean, and Josey Jewell. Like I now by for some reason by like taking the elite linebacker first and then punting it, I still built out like an extremely solid PFF rating linebacker room. Like what? I don't know how that happened. It might just be that I know a lot more about linebackers than other people. That's my position. That's what I freaking yeah. So round 41, pick five. There's like I like in even in this league when I didn't take him round 38. So if you're gonna snipe him from me, I'll tell you right now, I'm not above picking him at round 14. I did it. I did it. Okay. So I will if you really want him, you're gonna have to freaking reach for him. Um, and then around 25 here, I feel like I was like, oh, it's such a steal. But like I also reached so hard. The reason I reached this hard is because this is the league that I set my rankings like really far in advance and was like, I'm not budging on them. I don't care what other people take. This is my first ever draft. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. Quarterback, edge, wide receiver, tackle, wide receiver, DI, tackle, DI, cornerback. Like I did it in like a specific way. So you see linebacker here would have been round 15. I might have reached a little bit. Round 15. Yeah, no, round 14. So, I mean, oh no, wait, 14, right? What am I? 14, yeah. So, like, oh, wrong way. Like I stuck to it and I got who I wanted, and that is what it is. Let's see. So in this league where I got him super late, if you want to know who's available super late, Nick Cross is. All right, people are loving him. Again, this was the most recent draft, so Nick Cross is crippity crip cropped up people's boards because you know why. If you don't know why, go listen to the IDP show or something. Figure it out. Shaquille Griffin. All right. Elijah Moore going. Oh, actually, round 14. That's not super late. Devonta, I don't even know who this is. I'm gonna assume this. I think this is a defensive interior player for the Packers. But I'm gonna assume this person autoed or something. Okay, am I right though? I just need to know if I'm right. Defensive tackle on the latest on Green Bay Packers. Okay, wow. Like good. My brain is like weirdly good at stuff like that for defensive players. Round 38, pick three. This guy already chirps right over on my little tweet twats about how he got Josey Jewell and I didn't. So go ahead and chirpity chirp chop. Where'd he go? Yes, sir. He lasted pretty deep into the draft, if I remember correctly. Downvote. Downvote. After seeing your setup, I'm glad you auto drafted. I had the old handwritten personal rankings cheat sheet. Josey says hi. An enemy has been born. I was like, no, you got Jewel? What the fuck? That Cubby was like, yep, he did. Yeah, see, I was like, no, no. Rip. And like the fact that I auto Daxton Hill. Like, I don't want to look and find out that like Chidobe Awuzie or like Mike Hilton was still available. I mean, I'm dropping Daxton Hill. Like, yeah. I think I have. Oh, I didn't write him in. I'm dropping him. That's why I probably already did. And Isaiah Rogers going before. He's done, right? Didn't he get injured? He went to UMass. That's literally 2 seconds from my home. Went down with an apparent head injury. Yeah, I kind of remember. Okay, so maybe he's not like done, but anyway. Staying focused here. I just am very sad about autoing this draft, and it is my plan to like continue to make videos about how I'm going to redeem this team, and it is my plan to finish in the top three. It is my plan, and I will do it. All right, and then round 25. So this is kind of more where I think I reached really hard in this just because I was like, I'm not getting Josey Jewell. It's my first draft ever. I got to get him. This is probably more realistic. 41, 38, those rounds are starting to seem late because if you see his grades for when he does play, it's extremely high. And we know he is the LB1 in a system that uses mostly LB1s. We know Baron Browning's moved over to edge. If you don't know that, do some research. So pick 25 pick four. Right before him, Keenan Allen. So Keenan Allen's kind of it's because Mike Williams is around. Charles Cross, who I don't know who this is. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. A lineman on what? The Seahawks? Learning from mistakes in preseason. Tackle. Seahawks tackle. Must be a rookie. Yeah, don't take a rookie tackle, even in round 25. I don't know. Maybe you're a Seahawks fan and that's what you really need to do. You do surf and turf, so that's pretty Seattle of you. Okay, so a relatively smaller range. I kind of want to do one where instead of an average, I do like a median. I think that might be a more useful number for some of these. Once I get more information, I just don't have enough information yet. So averaging for Josey Jewell, which again is pretty much this entire thing is driven by me. And would have been even more so had I been actually present. So averaging about 189. Just comparing 269 for Justin Tucker. Amani Hooker. Did we talk about Amani Hooker? Oh, I like definitely skipped Amani Hooker. Whoops. I really wanted Josey Jewell to be last, but let's talk about Amani Hooker while we still can. He's somebody that I autoed here, but I was like targeting him pretty hard, but also Kevin Byard. So it was like if I couldn't get Byard, I'd get Hooker, and I think I pretty much was able to get Byard in most of my leagues. So super similar. He's like on the older side. Yeah, this video just got long by this, but let's just do it so super quick. Round 12, round 13, round 13. So he is an extremely highly rated safety. Let's look. Oh no, I hit something that I shouldn't have. Let's look at my initial rankings again. These are pretty out of date here. Kevin Byard. Where do I have Hooker? So I think the reason Hooker is so far down is I think his age, but I don't know that for a fact. So there's Byard. I have so like this is like my most recent draft, which I think is like most accurate with my rankings and strategy. Um, taking Byard 29. How old is Hooker? Oh man, now I gotta look it up. Oops, shouldn't just Google Hooker. Nope. Is it Malik, right? Amani. Jesus. How old is he? Oh, he's the young one. Okay, so you got so Hooker is younger, the younger version of Kevin Byard, basically. Um, similar, same team, similar grading. So okay, so Hooker should be targeted before Byard. Also, don't Google the word Hooker live. You will have to edit things. Cameron by so this is just real quick looking at how I'm building my safety rooms. Cameron Bynum, young, gonna be great. Kyle Duggar, old, gonna be great. Cameron Curl, young, gonna be great. Jaquan Brisker, young, gonna be great. So that's kind of where I'm at, and just trying to get value on safety because it's safety. So um round 12, pick three, right before him, Kirk Cousins, right after him, Najee Harris. Uh we've seen where other running backs have gone. If that's your 12th player on your team, I mean, there's probably other players you need more than that, personally. So super similar selection here, even though this league's a little bit deeper. Derek Carr, and like it's so crazy to me. It's like these like mid-range quarterbacks going right before him, and then somebody's like, "Oh, my mid-range quarterback went. I guess I'll take Amani Hooker." Lakin Tomlinson, who I think is a great value for a tackle, Jets tackle, Lakin Tomlinson. With losing Elijah Vera Tucker, right? I think he's gonna get plenty of snaps. It's just a matter of can he grade highly. And I autoed for Amani Hooker on my eye test team. Definitely gonna hold on to him though, because it's kind of cool that I at least autoed where in like a normal range instead of taking freaking Justin Tucker wherever I got him. Right before him, Travis Kelce, and right after him, George Pickens. So at least I know I wouldn't have taken Pickens. I wouldn't take Pickens before Hooker, that's for sure. And then 13 pick six in our smaller league. Trey Hendrickson going right before him and Devondre Campbell going after him. This is like a pretty good value for Devondre Campbell, FYI. All right, so our range here, there goes sleeper again, blowing up in my lap. Our range here, pick 102 to 134. Regardless of league size, it's gonna be in that range. It's a pretty small range. So 118. Okay. I hope that this was extremely helpful, and I hope that my buddies in the Stupid Idiots League are ready to lose. And I hope that you're feeling extra stupid. Our draft starts tomorrow. We have a Discord now. If you are watching this and you are like, I would 100% like to be in another listener league for this, whatever it is that I'm doing, drop a comment, like, subscribe, all that, blah, blah, blah. But then like, if we're getting traction on these, we can do it. We can do it and we can learn together. Not a ton of content, so I'm trying to learn with you, and hopefully we can learn together and still somehow I win. That's the plan. Andrew Buxton, and I'll catch you on the flippity flop.